Today on the Tim Marner podcast show, I've got Jenny Vadasz from Aspire Accountants. Where did Aspire Accountants first start?
So it started in the living room about 5.5 years ago because we had this spectacular idea to make myself redundant from a glowing job with all the benefits to help the community and as many people as possible to start this business. And the word Aspire was long thought of because we wanted a word and a name for the company that reflected what we want people to think as well, not just about us but about themselves.
When you said the word we and you're in your living room, what do you mean by the word we?
Because I suppose it's a good team of people.
But it was I back then.
It was I back then, yeah.
What were you working in? What were you doing?
Financial accounting within a big corporate company, flying around the world with lovely car, lovely benefits, and always in accounting background. So from being 18 years old, always through accounting in the career. But I wanted something that can really help the community more, so it wasn't
But
just...
what was that point? What was that cathartic moment where you broke and you were like, I've had enough of this?
It had been building for about 3 years actually, and then I took some maternity when I got pregnant and took maternity time off, and I decided that in that time it was the right opportunity for me to break away from corporate and come and help the locals, because I saw how much time I wanted to spend with my daughter. I wanted a bit of freedom as well over the time that I spent doing work related tasks, and I wanted the freedom of family as well and to be able to go and do what I want in the world. Travel, see things, help people, build strategies and empires and really good stuff that makes an impact in the world.
Who was your first client that you got?
Luke, which is a construction client, and he's still with us today.
How did you get him?
Met him at networking, actually, yeah. So
was that your strategy from the off, networking meetings?
From the off, yeah.
Why is that?
Because I'm really good with people and I'm a people pleaser and I know how to connect with people really well, or I think I do. And I really want to go and help people that haven't or don't see the vision of what they could have. So people that might be stuck in a rut, or they've had a business for some time and they're just generating the same thing year after year. So they've only really been in business 1 year. It's just been on repeat for 10 years, that's all. So I love helping those type of people that they can't see past that. And then when I come in with the flood of ideas, it helps them see a vast amount more, and it gives them their life back, it gives them their family time back, travel time, and then they aspire to more and more and more things. So it's amazing, it's beautiful.
Talk to me about the taxman.
Don't like the taxman.
Okay.
Taxman's there to promote rules, keep us... It's really hard to talk about the taxman.
Yeah. I know I've just thrown it in there for you, mate, but I'm just like, it's really important, this section of it, because I'm not going to... Obviously, we're in the talks now, aren't we? Like coming over to you and you being our accountant, just because we have such a great connection. I love what you're about, and this is one of the things that you said to me, that you don't work for the taxman.
Absolutely.
I feel, I'm not going to say my accountant's name, but I feel like he works for the taxman, right? And he doesn't want to do things because it's extra work for him.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, you work for us, not the taxman. Talk to me about that.
Okay, so a lot of people believe and trust their accountant implicitly, and I love accountants mostly. However, what they tend to do is follow the rules to the absolute T, and then they don't let clients know about other allowances and other availabilities where it will reduce your tax overall ultimately, so that you're paying less to the taxman. So what we like to do...
We're not talking about conning the taxman here, just to let everybody know.
No.
Right? I know it's just extra work for someone.
It's extra work. So it does take extra time. It takes extra compliance work. So we need to know the rules even more and even deeper for us to understand what's available, legally available, legitimately, to be able to help the client even more. And it follows the taxman's rules. It still follows Companies House, HMRC. Everything is perfectly compliant. It's just that the taxman doesn't shout about all the allowances that are available. So a lot of people miss out on a lot of opportunities, because unless you're trained and unless you dig deep and do the extra workload, people just don't know about it. So a lot of clients come to us and we put in front of them a lot of availability, and they say, why have I never been told about this? And it's purely down to the effort and the work that's involved behind the scenes, that of years of knowledge, I guess, and years of studying and continuous studying and delving into the budgets that's just been issued, delving into the little tax quirks and finding out, okay, if you run with a scenario A and B, is that the only ones, which a lot of people think, but actually there's C, D, E, F, G. Yeah. But it's not that it's hidden or a secret, it's just not very easily publicly found information. Yeah. So you've really got to hunt for that information. So
tell me the one about the fuel one, where if I've got Lee in the car, because I didn't know this, my accountant's not going to tell me that, but if I've got a second passenger in the car, tell me that one.
So it's, again, such a quirky little thing within tax that you can claim 45p a mile up to 10,000 miles, but if you've got a passenger with you, legitimately you can claim an extra 5 pence a mile on top of your 45 pence. So therefore that you can get through on expenses, through your accounts, into your profit and loss, reducing your profit, reducing your tax bill for that extra 5p. If you're on sales, for instance, and you're out on the road quite a lot, that's going to have quite a significant impact as well on what tax you're reducing in that year. So it's massive, and there's lots of different things. Motorbikes and cycle bikes as well, so you can also claim allowances for those things as well, which people don't even consider. There's cycle to work schemes that you can use, so that you can buy the bike through the business, like a pedal bike, buy it through the business on a scheme that the company owns the pedal bike, and you can still claim your miles through that scheme as well, so that employees can benefit from being healthier. You're promoting well-being, you're reducing stress. It's just a tick, 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 tick. So I don't know why HMRC don't shout about this, only from the obvious reason that it reduces your tax bill. So we don't work for the tax man. We work for the client every single time to make sure.
Which is really refreshing to hear, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's a shame that not every single accountant works in this manner.
They'll just do enough. My accountant just does enough.
So they're called a compliance accountant, because they just do the compliance work. They don't go into the nitty-gritty of what's actually required. Yeah. They don't announce big things that are going to make a massive impact on the client's success as well. Look at the strategy of where they want to go and get down to like the deep-rooted personal goals, because we all start a business or work in a business for another reason on top of wanting to be in that industry or wanting to help more of your clients out and things like that. There's always an aligned personal goal next to the business goal.
You can't. Can you call yourself as an accountant? What are you, accountant, financial advisor? What is, where do you sit?
Accountants / coaches, I guess.
Right.
So a financial advisor is more like the pension
let's
side.
Let's talk about the experience, right?
Okay.
That me and you've had. Fell in love with you at networking meeting. I'm like, look, Jenny, I need you in my life. Can I come down and have a meeting with you? Talk to me about that first initial meeting that me and you had, and you're asking me about my vision and my goals. I'm like, you're an accountant. Why are you being so personal? Right? Yeah. Okay. Talk to me about that, so people understand exactly.
Because it's really important for us to understand what your personal goals are, so that we can align your business goals and make sure it's in the right direction, and also making sure that every quarter, at the very minimum of a year, that you are working towards the bigger picture, the bigger goal. Because it's like you coming to us and us not asking them questions. It's like you getting in a car and just aimlessly driving around without a postcode in your sat nav. We need to understand what that postcode is as such, because
you're driving around like a dickhead.
Yeah, you're driving around like a dickhead. We need to understand what's your destination, what's the point of all this, what is it that you're actually trying to establish from all of this combined, so that we can understand through the story of the numbers what it is that you're aiming towards, so then we can best advise you how to actually get on that journey, get on the correct road, because you might be on M6 when you need to be on A9 going in the completely different direction. So if we don't understand the destination, how could we ever really truly support you, other than being just a compliant accountant, which is the very, very basics? how can we help support where your journey goes to your destination of the ultimate goal for you, for your staff, for your clients, for your suppliers? Everything inside of all that big picture adds up to your vision. And that's really important. If you don't ask them questions, how can an accountant truly help you get to where you need to go? And alongside an accountant, a lot of people tend to have a coach or a financial advisor, and what we try and do is encompass all that together.
It's so good.
It's cool, and we love doing it. So we love that. We love that moment where a client just realizes and the penny drops and they go, oh my fucking God, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. I actually get it. I've actually asked myself this question now, and I actually understand why I originally set this business up, why I originally wanted to help these people, and what my end target is and the goal is to get to whatever picture you paint of what truly is success.
What is that? What is that success?
It's different for every single person. Yeah. It's different. We get the similarities are that people want to travel. That's a massive thing. They want to see the world. They want to spend more time with their friends, their family. They want more hobbies, things like that. Success doesn't always mean a ton of money in the bank. It might mean to some person that they want to reduce working from 5 days down to only 2 days a week. And for them, that's complete success, that they get to spend 5 days a week doing what they want to do on another mission maybe, and that's maybe another set goal that they've got, and 2 days a week where they're working on the business and not in the business. And again, getting aligned to that personal goal is really crucial from the beginning, because if we can understand you only want to work 2 days on the business, which is much different to working 5 days in the business, then we can help and support, make sure that you've got the correct monthly, quarterly, annually goals in the business to align to getting you to 2 days a week working only. So, and ultimately in the end, it becomes a business that's then sellable. Even if you didn't want to sell it, you could get to a position where you can go, actually, I don't need
investment or whatever.
Correct. If you're looking for more opportunity down the line, that opens it up massively. Because if you are the business, it becomes quite difficult. But if you can operate that business without you being in it full time, and it still works without you, you've actually got to a position where you can go, if I don't need to be there 5 days a week, 7 days a week, that means somebody else could potentially buy this business if I wanted to sell it, and I can make money to go and do my next big venture, my next big goal, my next big success, and move on to the next thing. Or keep it, and absolutely keep it, and keep it running in the background, earn from it, and use that as an investment strategy onto the next portfolio of what you want to do. It can just grow for you. So again, we love people that want to grow, and they might not be entirely sure how to yet.
Which is where we're at. Yeah, we know exactly what we want, and I know the vision, I've got the thing, but unsure how to get there. We've had that conversation, me and you, we've put that down, you sent a document over to us, and then you will be spend what, once a month with each other, making sure that we're sort of hitting them goals every month.
Absolutely.
Which is so powerful that, you know, with our compliance accountant, that you don't hear from him, get him ring him and ask for advice. It's like, you know.
It's hard. I think it is hard, because unless people know there's more out there, they just accept the typical compliance accountant. They accept that role. They accept who they're portraying themselves to be there.
That once a month thing, when you actually sit down with you, what are you looking for within people? Are you setting them things to do within that month and making sure that they do it and holding sort of accountable for it and that kind of thing?
Definitely. There is KPIs that will go along and we'll set, and we'll learn more as the months go on between us as well. Definitely more data. But it's also like a personality check-in as well. So we work a lot with disc profiling to understand that side of it. And then we start to understand the personality of the people, and then the personality of the actual business itself, in which direction that's going. So not only does it help you set KPIs around financial obligations and start targeting that, but it could be that we give you the advice on the day that's completely non-financial, and it could be actually what we've
about
spotted.
My beliefs behind money, and I'm not worth earning that much money.
Maybe, yes. It could be.
Because you tap into that.
Yeah, we do.
Don't you?
We tap into the belief
and
system.
And you know where to send people if you have got them.
Yeah.
Those things.
Restrictions.
Restrictions, our beliefs that we put on ourselves, that money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to work really hard for your money.
Not true. Yeah.
Fucking drilled into you.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, okay, now I'm not working hard enough.
Then we're getting on to school curriculum, which is another conversation maybe for another day, because it's such a big topic. And you're right, that is exactly what gets drilled in from being 7 years old to 16 is you've got to work hard in employment to get anywhere in life, and you've got to work 10 hours a day for 5 days a week minimum in order to earn anything. And it's so untrue. It's completely untrue. It's what you've got to do is work smart, not hard. Work smart, build systems, build procedures, build policies, get a great staff team in behind you to support you, but then you twist it round actually, because by the time you've got good systems in and good people in, you're there to support them. That's actually the way that then a good business owner, a good leader will operate, is you need to support them to make sure that the operations of the business is flowing exactly how it is. And most of the answers that I give nowadays to my team is follow the system. When they come to me with a question, I just say, okay, have you checked the system? Have you followed the system? What would I do? And that's their answer. But now they know, they've been trained. Follow the system. If we've not got a system, build a procedure, build our what if guide. What the fuck do I do if this happens? Where do I go? Who do I ask? How do I deal with it? What's the system to follow? What procedures shall I put in place? But we've got a what if guide for practically everything now. So, and something new comes up, we build a new one. So that any new member of staff that comes in, the first thing that we do, an induction, 2 weeks induction, is train them on the what if guides and the systems and the procedures, because if they follow that, I'm not needed. It's perfect. It's a perfect model, so that you're there then just to support them. You're just there to make sure that everything flows beautifully and it works beautifully. So it's about, again, working smart, not hard. Don't do something 10 times that you could do once. Why? If you can write it down and document it once, you don't have to do it again. And it's not like that with everything in life or in work or in business, or different industries have different needs and different wants and desires and goals and expectations. But then if you write the system once to accommodate for that new thing, then you've got it nailed. Whether it be with your staff, with a customer, with a supplier, with the way that you're running prospects, the way that you're doing networking meetings, the way that you run podcasts, loads of different things that you can apply it to, so that you've done it once and it's a repeatable thing in the background. Then you can earn money while you sleep the best possible way. Passive income. Create passive income. So think about the model of the business that you've currently got, where it is that you want to go with it, what time do you want to spend on doing that, and what time do you want at the end, and what do you want to do with that time as well. There's a really smart matrix that we draw up in a grid. You've got the years down the side and the hours of the day along the bottom, and you're basically just colouring it in. So everyone sleeps for about 6 to 8 hours a day, and if you're 50 years old, you mark it up to 50, you colour in them 8 hours. Well, that's gone. That's gonna go. And actually, if you expect to live till 90, you can colour the rest of that in as well. That's gone. So by the time you whittle it down, let's say, you've only got a very small strip at the top of the grid left that you can go, what do I want to do in that small bit of time? So when you think of our lifespan and what we really want to achieve, what do we want people to say when we've gone from this world? What is it that we want people to say? Oh, he was a hard worker. Nah. We want more. I want more than that. I want to leave a legacy behind. I want to leave. She was a really family dedicated person. She was loyal. She was trustworthy. She always helped all the clients. She built loads of different community projects that helped homeless, that help kids, that help people in need. What else do you want to do in life? You know, we also want to help all those families, them locals, them real people that want to build successful businesses. But that might just be a platform as well, whilst helping them in order to get to a bigger vision as well, a bigger goal. So it comes right back down to the original conversation that we first had about what's your personal visions, what's your personal goals, what's your expectations in life. And not everyone has the answer straight away. You've a massive question that's a huge question to go and ask.
Who am I?
Who am I? Who do I want to be?
Yeah.
Who do I want to be? What do I want to have? What do I want to do? Who am I? Who am I? What are my goals? What are my real goals? And if you break it down, the easiest way to ask yourself that is, everyone might listen to this podcast and think, I know who I am. Okay, so my second question, when you've written that down of who you are, why do you want that? And when you answer that, ask yourself, why do you want that? Why is that important? Why is that important that you want to achieve that? And then ask yourself again, why do you want to achieve that?
The core
and
of it.
you 6 to 7 times of asking why, and really spend some time on this, thinking, meditate before you do it, clear your brain, make sure you're in a calm, safe environment when you're doing it. 6 to 7 whys in, then you'll find out the real answer.
Because it'll probably trigger you.
It will.
What?
And there's a lot of triggers in there.
Yeah, fucking hell, it's the Jesus Christ. Like, my whole life's a trigger these days.
And everyone's got a trigger. Yeah. Everyone's got a trigger. Yeah. 20 years ago, it used to be abnormal to have ADHD or something like this. Now it's normal. Now it's like, come on, we've all got it. Yeah. We've all actually got something. Yeah. You classify it as ADHD, but do classify it as what you want, or don't even classify it. But we've all actually got something that triggers us to behave in a certain way. And if we can really start to dig deep to understand what them root causes are, which generally happen when you're a child, yeah. You make a decision when you're 7 years old about money, for instance. That's a massive belief system that people have. I hate money because my mum never had money and we could never go anywhere, so money's evil. Yeah. You know, I had a hard childhood. I had second-hand clothes given to me. We never went on holiday. We never had a car. I was 14 years old before I got a television. Blah, blah, blah. Mobile phones weren't around in them times. So we've got this preconceived idea of when we was so young that money was evil. So now our relationship with money, and I'm saying this very generically, that the relationship with money a lot of the time when you're starting a business is asking people for money, talking about the quotation, or talking about, right, we've done the work, you've paid a deposit or not, and now it's time to pay, thank you very much, customer. Fucking pay. And people have this like big massive like wall and barrier around them going, shit, I can't ask them. Oh my God, that would be rude. Oh my God, money is awful. Oh my God, that would be evil to ask them for this money. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's just your belief system inside you that's so fucked up, because we're all fucked up in our own little ways, that money from childhood has been like this horrible thing. And you've got this belief system going in your brain that I can't ask them for the money. But actually you can. You've just got this crazy belief. So how can you retrain that belief? And again, root causes come from childhood. So if we understand that the goal is to help 100 businesses a year, this is how you want to do it, this is the ultimate goal, this is what you want to achieve, and then we find out that you've got this belief attached to money, then actually our job is more than just doing compliance accounts, it's understanding and trying to reroute you on this belief system. Because if we can do that, your whole world is going to open up. Whole world. Wow. What's it going to do then? What would it do? In your mind, for all the people that you've met, Tim, What would it do to you if you could see their belief system and you could do something about their belief system that would unblock them for the rest of their life? How many people would that help?
Fucking hell, loads, mate. It just free people to just be themselves. That's the real thing. You know, we always use the analogy of like turning up to the school disco and people just stand around the edge. They know this is my fucking song, but they're scared to get on the dance floor because they don't want to make it look a dick of themselves.
Who gives a shit what you look like?
But it's that belief system, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, all comes back to the same things. And the reason that they're there is many different reasons. People have had trauma in their life, or it could be one incident that's happened that isn't even that traumatic, that maybe they didn't get a badge on sports day or something like that, and they thought they're never going to be athletic again in their life because they didn't get a sports day badge, or maybe it's because they failed at a test that they were doing at school, and then that's it, it's the end of the world. Because again, going back to school curriculum, it teaches you like crazy things. If you fail at sports day, great, now you've learned how not to do it. Get back up off your ass and go again. If you failed in a test, great, you've learned now how not to do something. Doesn't mean that you're a failure at everything that you do in life in that area or anything, but that is a lot where beliefs are born. And because you're so young, when typically, again, I say typically, when you form these beliefs, you hold on to them like so badly, so much that it changes your choices and advice that you give and experiences in life. So when you get to 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, you're still holding on to this crazy belief system. Another one that I've heard is that somebody fell from a slide in a swimming pool. They'd fallen from a slide, they'd gone under water for 15 seconds, mum's dragged them out, they're scared of water for life. They'll never go back, they'll never swim again. And this person now is 60-year-old. When they're showering, they have to use a flannel for the face. They can't put their head under a shower because the water's in the face. And then they get fearful that they're drowning. They believe in their stomach deep down that if water goes on their face, they're going to die. Because that's the belief that they formed when they were 6-7 years old, that they fell off a slide once. They didn't even fall. They just went down a slide and went underwater, didn't know what to do, panicked a bit, and now all of a sudden their whole life has now been driven by this crazy belief. So think of all the beliefs that are formed when you're a child that could be related to anything, and that could then change the whole direction of your entire life. And what crazy pathways.
Let's talk about how it stops people getting a successful business.
Massively.
How many people come to you with those limiting beliefs? They know what they want, they've got a decent business, but they're stopping the business grow.
They are.
Because
trust. That's massive one for us, is trust. So I can't grow this business because I can't hire somebody that'll do the same job as what I'm doing in order to release me to go and grow the business, because I can't trust them. They're going to steal from me, or they're not going to be as good as me, or they won't be as committed and passionate about the business and the customers than what I am. Here? Absolutely not. No. Okay. There's so many people that come into us like this.
I've been there.
Yeah.
It's fucking absolutely
It's hard.
Bonkers.
So again, going back and understanding, why do you not trust the whole world?
Yeah.
Because isn't the world a better place than it's actually ever been, even though there's loads of shit? We only know about the shit because of social media and internet, which we didn't have 50 years ago. So when it stunts people going further in business, it's only because it's more well known now in media than what it ever has been before about stuff that's going on in the world. But it's actually quite a safe world. So why is it that people just don't trust people? Is it not better to walk into somewhere and have such an open mind to people and think, I'm going to trust you first and let's keep it there, rather than you've got to earn my trust and earn that belief that I could actually trust you, and it's going to take you 5 years to earn my trust for me to leave you in the office unattended to do the job that I want you to do now, but it's going to take me 5 years to actually leave you alone with it. That's fucking crazy. You'll never grow a business. But a lot of people are in that position, and still we have quite a few clients that are still in that position now. Even after working with them for so long, they've still got so much of a grip on this belief that it's so hard for them to change. And we've only got so much time with them. We try and give and we do give as much advice as possible around these topics. And 80% of our typical meetings are more about this.
It's a lot of inner work, mate, innit? You've got to really work on yourself, and you've got to really be reflecting in meditation, ceremonies, getting your own therapist, that kind of thing. A lot of it's like...
A big leader is Jim Rohn. If people haven't heard of him, please go research Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N, yeah. He is a massive leader and a master in all the psychology side of growing a business in a great way. And one of his massive quotes, I suppose, one of my favourite quotes is, work harder on yourself than you ever do on your business. Because if you work harder on yourself, your business naturally will just grow with it. Yeah. And you'll grow your business.
Yeah, that's really what
natural.
I'm doing at the minute.
And it's beautiful. If people can follow that,
yeah.
Oh, it's so nice. So nice.
It's hard work.
It doesn't happen overnight, and people shouldn't expect it to either. They've got to have self-belief as well, which is a massive holdback on a lot of things. People either feel that they don't trust things or people, or they're not good enough. That's a massive one that always comes to us. I've got both of them, to be honest, if I think about it. I've got a weird relationship with money, and I've got a weird relationship with trust. Them are the two things I'm trying to really, really get over. Obviously, working with you was like, it's going to fucking help massively. I know it is. I think.
But doing, working with a business coach, doing the mushrooms, sitting in silence with myself and asking the right questions and letting myself cry and doing that as.
That's massive breakthroughs. That is massive breakthroughs, because a lot of people won't admit there's something to fix.
Yeah.
There's something to work on, which is a better way of putting it, actually. There's something to work on there. They just carry on through life believing what they believe. So when you start recognising, actually, that belief could change and I could work on that to make it not holding me back anymore. It could be a strength rather than, and I don't like to say weakness, but something that's holding me back. And you start to change that and you start to work on it. It releases so many different things for you, and you'll see different opportunities because of it. You'll see things that, might have been in front of you. I'm definitely letting
more people into my life that are giving me more opportunities, because I'm not just kind of going, I'm actually, see you later, dickhead, not having it. And they actually turn out to be really nice. I'm like, just my judgment and first thing of it is from something that happened to me when I was little. Childhood belief.
That haunts us.
Yeah, haunts you.
It really, really does.
You just don't let people into your heart. You don't let people into your life. There's some beautiful opportunities out there if you just say yes.
Yes.
But obviously learn when to say no.
Agreed.
But that comes from a gut instinct of when it's not right. But make sure it's from that, not a fucking childhood trauma.
Correct. Yeah, correct. And always, I believe very much in your instincts.
Yeah.
Very much believe in that as well. There's a great book called Chimp Paradox. Fantastic reading. It's quite a chunky book, or it's on audio as well. Really fantastic book, and it lets you learn about how your brain is operating with these beliefs and what's holding you back, what might be holding you back in business as well, how you can progress and change more, and what different things that you can think about. It's a very relatable book. There's a lot of different things in it. One of the quirky ones that I remember that stands out for me is if you've got kids and your kid comes home with like a certificate, and there's so many people that'll go, fucking hell, I do this, and you go, well done kid, pat on the back, like give them a hug, and then you stick it on fridge. It's the worst thing in the world to do that, because you've just started creating a belief for your own child doing that, going, so I only get a pat on the back when I get my certificate, because if I don't get my certificate the next week, that means I'm not good enough. And that's where that belief starts to get formed. So, but what's crazy is that your brain switches really easy to create a negative belief than it does to create a positive belief. You've got to really work hard on creating positive beliefs compared to how easy it is. It's like a garden full of weeds. The weeds are so easy to grow, but you want to go and plant a beautiful, I'm not into gardening, but a beautiful rose bush or something like that, then you've got to go out, you've got to nurture it, you've got to tend to it, you've got to get rid of the dead bits, you've got to get rid of the weeds, you've got to give it food every day, you've got to give it water and light, and you've got to keep going, and it doesn't happen overnight, and it takes long to make sure it keeps coming up the next year, and it's got sustainability. That's exactly the same as your brain. It's exactly the same as your brain. So when you walk into business and you think, all right, this is a career that I've been really good at, I'm going to open this business, I'm going to now be a business owner, I'm going to lead all these people to a successful business. But if you let those weeds creep in, they'll take over all those rose bushes, kill all those rose bushes off. So that's all. Could be all your new beliefs. It could be all your new staff members. It could be the way you've got a relationship with money. It could be the way that you trust people. It could be the way that you've got your communication with customers, suppliers, staff, anyone that you come into contact with. If you let those weeds take over, and it happens, that happens fast. The roses take ages to nurture and find goodness and deep root them and make sure that they're never going to go away. They're always going to bloom every single time, and they're always going to be there for you. You're always going to have a beautiful garden. You've got to look after that. That takes, going back to Jim Rohn again, work harder on yourself than you do on the business. Make time to go to the gym if that's what you love, or make time to go and get your fresh air if that's what you love. Make time for your family trips out if that's what you love. Make time to go swimming if that's what you love. Make time to travel if that's what you love. Write the list of stuff that you really, really love and think, okay, the business that I'm going to go into is like a bicycle to get you to the destination that you're actually aiming for. It's an opportunity, and making sure that you're changing those beliefs along the way. Make sure that your pathway gets wider and wider, so more beautiful roses can flourish and can come in, because your beliefs are starting to change. It can be quite an incredible.
I knew the conversation would turn this way. It's just so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's miles more important than anything else in the world.
Because just like coming in for you, and I've got the account, just doing your accounts, and it's like, if that's my account and I've got my belief system, and what was it? It just laugh at me. I'm like, what are you talking about, you woo-woo nonsense? This bloody what?
Because you've got to understand the deep-rooted stuff for people to have a successful business. So
would you say it's easier to transform someone's business than the actual belief system and that they've put on it?
It's nothing's never easy to transform, because nothing happens overnight.
Yeah.
If you can get the person on board with the fact that they've got something that's holding them back and that's causing some pain in the business, then you can start moulding and influencing change over that side. Like I said before, naturally the business will change and grow. Naturally. It happens naturally. So we can put KPIs in place, key performance indicators, to measure targets and goals on financials and make sure you've got glorious accounts, profit and less tax, which is awesome as well. I love that strategy. And I'll always keep saying that. I don't like paying tax, man, where we don't have to. Making sure that you've got a sustainable business that we can grow and grow and grow will be, let's use that easy word, that'll be easier if the person at the top of that business is open-minded, and that's literally all they need to be to change. And I love nature. I'm always up in mountains and all that, and I love butterflies and what they do from where they start out to where they finish. That transformation is what I like to see everybody go through. That transformation of realising you've got to start small, and you might be in your cocoon and you might have been in that for 40 years, and now it's time to bloom. Now it's time to break free, come out and fly and aspire to be whatever you want to be. And you can't do that just doing fucking accounts, can you? Jesus Christ. You've got to do more than the numbers. So if you want a compliance accountant, there's plenty of them. It's just not us. We are compliance plus a ton of other stuff around it to make sure people really fly and can see the potential that they've got within, because everyone's got it somewhere, and it just might be so deep rooted. We've got to get through the shitty weeds first. I'm doing hand movements, but no one can see me. But and then you find the roses. You find something that really can bloom, and everyone's got it. They've got that good seed inside them. You've just got to find it. And some are more grown than others, and some are, there's so many analogies that I try and use, really. Some are just trying to break out of that cocoon to fly into a butterfly and think, right, this is the year for business. This is the year where I'm going to focus solely on myself, solely making my thoughts better, my process better. Have a morning routine before you even start your working day. Focus on you. The big thing as well is always focus. Making sure that you've got... the busier you are, the more time I want you to spend on yourself. If someone says to me, I'm too busy to read a book, or I'm too busy to do 20 minutes of meditation in the morning, well, now I want you to do an hour, thank you very much, you tosser, because actually, you're never going to grow if you've got that attitude. Do you know what? We've got Richard Branson, how many hours has he got in a day? Oh, look, it's same as you. Haha, isn't that funny? So let's focus on what's actually really important that's going to make an actual impact on your life. Whether you do it or not, it's got no impact on me. It's not going to change my life, it's going to change yours. So if you do the stuff that's going to make a difference and actually going to change you as a person, it's going to change everything else alongside it. So do your morning meditation, do a pint of water in the morning, drink more water in the day, make sure you go for a run or you do some morning exercises if you can't get out the house with kids and all that. Do something, spend an hour every single morning just on you. And the next excuse I love, but I've got kids, do you know what? So have I run 3 businesses, I'm a single mum, I've got kids at home, and I still find the time because I make the time. So I just get up an hour earlier. So if I need to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, kids get up at 7:30 and stroll out of bed, I get up at 6 o'clock every morning so that I make time for me. So that's my time. I know that I'm the best in the mornings as well to do all that stuff. Other people are night owls, so they want to stay up late at night, get the kids in bed or do whatever else they're doing, and then think, right, now's the time for me to self-reflect, do a journal, do my meditation, read a really good book that's going to push me forward, stop switching Netflix on and watching shit, and go and do the stuff that matters. Because if you can spend 2 hours, 3 hours a night watching Netflix, there's no way that you can give me an excuse that says, I don't have an hour in a day for myself. That's the people we want to work with, that've got that hour a day that can go, do you know what, I can do this, I can make things better, I can change, I can see my vision and how I'm going to start getting to it, how I'm going to focus 1 year at a time, 1 quarter at a time, 1 day at a time to make, again, Jim Rohn, small habits practiced daily will change the life and give you success. That's what, again, is success. Success is many different things to many different people, but you want to get to it, just change 1 small thing every single day. If you're not having a glass of water in the morning, start having a glass of water in the morning. If you're not doing some exercise every single day, just start with 10 minutes. Don't put a burden. It shouldn't be a chore. It should be something that you think, but I want to improve my health, but I'm going to sit here and watch Netflix and have 3 beers every night and not do any exercise. Well, good luck with that one then, mate. How's that going to figure? How are you going to run a successful business when you can't even be arsed taking time for yourself and looking after yourself in the ways that are going to make an impact over your overall success just by doing little things every little day and making a change? And I am really passionate about this because, that's my passion, is to help people see and change into the beautiful people that they could be even more of. They might already be beautiful people, but they could do even more to make it even more beautiful in their life. And think again of that butterfly and what they do and the ripple effect that has. Because as soon as you start doing it, and the mates that you hang out with or your colleagues and things, other people follow because they can start seeing the benefits. Yeah. So the ripple effect the impact that you have on all the other people around you might be the vision that you've got for your business. If your vision is to help 100 families a year or 100 businesses a year to turn things around and be more successful, and you start implementing these changes every day that's working on yourself, the influence that you will have over these people that form businesses will change as well. They will start seeing, actually, that's working for that person. Maybe I should start adopting that and start going with the flow as well. It's just makes sense. It just makes sense. So yes, we'll do accounts and all that good stuff, but what we really want to do is see the full potential in a person, in a business, and all their staff then as well, and let's see the ripple effect and the change that actually happens, because when one starts doing it and it goes good, human instinct is to follow, because we've still got a tribe mentality, we've still got follow the leader mentality and all that good stuff. And when it's working well, people will follow. And the culture in the business will change, which means that the KPIs that we're setting, people will start actually hitting them, but not hitting them, exceeding them, because they've got the passion to exceed them. They've got the passion to thrive. They can see that the business is growing, the money's flowing in, the culture's changing, the environment is happy, the success is coming. Everyone's going to benefit in that circle as well, and then the circle will just keep growing and growing and growing and growing. All your customers will benefit, all your suppliers will benefit, all your staff will benefit, all their families will benefit, all their friends will start seeing the benefit, and it just grows. And what we started seeing is that people that we started working with are now engaging with their children differently as well, because of what we push, I like to say, or what we support, or the training and the mentality that we inspire people to see and change. It starts changing everything around them. So, and we love what we do, love it with so much passion, because we can see the impact. We can see what really changes. So the numbers change alongside it. Of course the numbers change.
People don't think that, do they?
No.
That the numbers change alongside it.
Of course. Yeah. It all has this massive impact on everything. It's the ripple effect again. So the more that you change yourself and your surroundings and your environment and that ripple effect, the more that your business starts naturally changing, and the more then advice that we can give with the numbers and think, right, now we're at this position, we're starting to make some good money. Now we can talk to you about this extra allowance, or this extra thing that HMRC's brought out, or a business membership. This can save you some tax as well and get some quids back in your pocket. This is a great platform to use now that you're in a capable position in your business to actually use this type of methods and strategies. Now it'll work.
How often should somebody be looking at the profit and loss? How often do people look at the profit and loss? Let me ask you that question.
How often? Right. So, in a typical
before
generic...
Before they come to you.
Before they come to us, we'd be lucky if people looked at it once every 6 months.
How often should they be looking at it?
Weekly. I'd be very happy if people look at it weekly. Some we've now got to daily. Some of our clients now look at it every single day because they've grown so big. Some will look at it weekly. Monthly, I feel like, is still an acceptable point for some businesses that are still in the growth stage as well. And I think anything beyond that, you're not really asked about your business. You're not really putting finance at one of the top measures that you should do for a growing business. If you want a static business that's just going to repeat the same year over and over, look at it however often you want. If it's every 6 months, then so be it. You're not going to make a massive change by looking at it every 6 months. And when we say looking at finances, what you should pick is about 5 to 7 measures that you can compare on a regular basis. So if you're looking at it weekly, your bank balance is one of those measures that we would say, look at your bank balance, record it every single week at the same day, every single week, so that you've got something comparable to look at and something that means something. And now let's start attaching some KPIs. Let's start attaching how often do customers pay and how often do you pay suppliers. So where in that week or that month does that fall, and how can we start measuring that accurately to say we want the bank balance to go up 10% or 5% every month. On the same date every month, we should see an increase. And that's because of A, B, C, D that we've suggested to put into place. So what can we do in the background to start thinking about why we should look at the financials every single week? And I think a lot of people's reasons, or let's say excuses, that they tell us that they don't look at it every single week is, what's the point? What am I looking for? They don't know what to look for. They don't know how to read financial information. And it doesn't need to be anything accountancy or jargony or anything like that. It can be really nice, simple stuff that they've got simple access to. Bank balances is a perfect one to look at, because cash is always king. Yeah. Cash is always king. Cash has always got to be at the top as well. And then we could start looking at how many average days does it take for your customers overall to pay you? And a lot of people think, what the bloody hell's that? How do you get to that number? Okay, I'm going to show you a simple formula to get to it. We can do it for you. We can run a report for you. Now we've got to measure it. Now we've got to understand what it means. So if the average days comes out at 43, right, next month we want the average days to come down to 40. The following month we want the average days to come down to 35. So now it's about retraining customers on how they pay you. Okay, let's have a look on how they actually pay you. Have you got a direct debit system in place? Have you got repeating invoices on automatic repeat? Does the system do it for you, or are you manually doing something? What is it that you've got in a system that can make it so that it's more automated, so that your KPI of your average days is dropping? Because you want it to drop. You want your customers to pay you faster. And if they're paying you overdue items, why is that? Is there a penalty to that? Is there something that we can incentivise so that they're paying in a time frame that you want them to be paying you? Because that's impacting the other number that you're looking at, which is your bank balance. That's impacting that every single time. And then we could think, well, that bank balance is attached to some investment that we want to do in the business. But if we can't see the bank balance growing, how are we going to get the investment of 20 grand, let's say, onto some new software, hardware, a new employment, recruitment costs, a new machine, if you need a new machine in your company, anything that it could be attached to anything, that investment, but we need to see the bank balance growing, and it's not growing because the customers are paying late. So you can see how it's all tied in and attached, but we need to understand it. We need to understand what the data is. So the data and the numbers tell us the story, and then we come back at you going, first conversation, we know what your vision is. We now know what your goals are personally and in business. So we now know what's important to you. We now know in that first year how you want to grow as a business and what you might need on the way. So if it's investment or if it's more people, we now know that bit. So now we come back to the bank balance and back to the aged customers paying you the invoices, how long it takes and what's the average. What can we do there? Because that's the root cause then of the other bigger goals over here that we discussed originally, and how it's going to get you there. So again, it's a whole it's the bigger picture. So when people say to me, I don't know what I'm looking at, I don't know why I need to look at financials, I just think, oh, fucking hell, we've got a big job here. Okay. Back to the original conversation. It always goes back to the original conversation. What's your goals? What's your vision? What's your mission? Why do you want to do it? What do I want to accomplish? Why? Let's get down to the root cause, the root decision, the root choices.
Let me put one to you. Let me throw a little question in there. You ready? Okay, so I've been thinking about this for a very, very long time. Right? I want an employee that's just doing the Tim Marner marketing, doing loads of videos. That, say I got an apprentice in for starters. Okay. Cool, yeah. Cool. What's it? Can I claim that back because that person is doing marketing for Tim Marner?
Absolutely. Why would you think it wouldn't be?
Don't know it because I've not got a clue about that.
Okay.
Perfect. Talk to me, Jenny.
So we test and measure. Test and measure. So we can say, okay, it's going to cost, let's say, put some easy numbers in.
Let's say it's 900 quid a month.
Right, 900 quid a month. Yeah. So we want an expectation of what was going to be produced from this person for that £900 a month, where it's going to go because it's marketing. So then we need to set up like a marketing schedule and think we're going to, week one of every month, you're going to do the videos. Week 2, you're going to edit the videos. Week 3, you're going to put a voiceover and text over. Week 4, you're going to issue the videos. Which platforms are we going to issue them on? What's the target market that we want to attract from them videos? What's the message that we want to send, and why are we actually issuing them videos? So if it's to gain more customers, then we need to think how many customers is an ideal number to gain. So then we'd have a look at what's the average pricing in your costing matrix or your ladder, your costing ladder of a customer. So let's say, for instance, a customer spends £5,000 in a one shot for a project. However, you retain the customer and they want work off you every year, and your average customer retention is 5 years, let's say. And then the following years, they spend £1,000 a year with you for some tweaks, some changes, a little bit of marketing or a little bit of ads on it. Right, so now we've got a visual of one customer. So we go back to the dude that's doing the 900 quid for the marketing. He's producing these videos.
Love this dude.
Love this dude. So it's cost us 900 quid.
Yeah.
We, have to hit this customer a few times before they're going to buy, because it's a big investment.
Yeah.
It's not a supermarket packet of chewing gum at the till that they've got. There's no consideration there about buying. This is a big consideration to spend £5,000 on this product, these services, and it's an ongoing relationship that we want with this customer. So, dude, we want you to target this type of customer that we would have figured out who they are, what type of business they run, what industry they're in, what turnover they've got, how many staff they've got, what part of the country they're in, what's their goals, what's their visions. So now we've built an avatar. We want to target them, and we want to see them engage with our video marketing that we're going to do at least, let's say, 6 times in order for them to ultimately click the button and buy from us. We know then that 6 times 9, is £5,400 for us to pay the dude 6 months' wages in order to gain this one customer that's worth £5,000 in the first year and then £1,000 every year after for 5 years. So overall, it's £10,000 that we're going to gain from that customer, and it's cost us £5,400 in his wages. Now that video will go out to lots of different people. So the target for that video to hit the customer base 6 times before they buy would then be, where's the profit margin for you to enable the dude to come on board, and you know how much the customer price is to buy that customer through using this video strategy. We want how many customers a year in year one earning £5,000 per customer. So let's say that we want 5 customers. That's going to earn us £25,000 revenue in the first year and 25 then for the 5 years after. And it's only cost us £12,000 a year to get £25,000. So how many apprentices do we really want? How many dudes do we really want? If we could prove that strategy works and we're doubling, costs us £12,000 to hire him, and we're gaining £25,000 just from 5 customers. What about we put a target on him to get 2 customers a month?
All right.
Done.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Right, so
that's 100,000, more 120,000 a year in turnover that we've just targeted him on, and it's costing us £12,000. So that's where we want to pin. That's where we want to pick. That's where we want you to delve down and understand the numbers in the strategy. It isn't just hiring a dude for 900 quid because it sounds cheap to do this video marketing strategy. We've got to test and measure every single number that goes through. Is it working? Is it the right sort of video? Are we targeting the right avatar, the right customer in this process? How many times do we need to get the customer to see this video? Is the video telling the customer exactly what the message is that we want to tell them? Are they going to pick up the phone or the digital form to click the button to buy with us? Are we sending the right message? What is it that we want to tell that customer, that potential customer? So now we've got a strategy of why we should hire the dude at 900 quid a month. And then we can go. That's good then. I'm glad you're happy with that answer.
Good that. Because apart from like just doing the videos and stuff like that have got sort of KPIs attached to them, there's also time for there to actually do other Tim Marner videos and stuff that sort of do the brand as well as the performance.
Definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. And that's really the trick in it, making sure your brand and your performance is going out, both of them.
Absolutely.
I think a lot too many people focus just on the performance.
Yeah.
What's that? And not kind of build the brand stuff.
Building the brand is so important so that people know what your core values are and what you stand for, and what it's all in the messaging. It's all in what is that brand saying to that potential customer? What does it mean to them? What emotion is it triggering for that customer? Yeah. Because it's not about buying a new website or buying a new brand or buying a new strapline or anything like that. It's about the emotion that it creates for your customer and then their customers once you've built that service for them. And it's the same for us. It's exactly the same. It's not about us filing the numbers at the end of the year. It's about creating an emotion of peace, trust, harmony, efficiency, success, structure, all that good stuff of...
You know what I really like about you, mate? What I think, which is, I don't know if it's one of your brand values, but you make people feel safe in your hands. And I think it's probably the biggest emotion that everybody wants. Apart from love, obviously, they want to feel safe, don't they? And that's what Aspire for me feels like. I feel like I'm in safe hands. I feel safe, mate.
Good.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you that, to be honest, but I just thought it was probably a nice time to tell you right now. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing what you do, the holistic side of it. I don't know anybody that does it like this. I've the first time I met you, like, I'll be honest with you, I was a bit taken back. I was like, oh my God, she's got a mouth on her. Coming from me. Fucking hell, fire.
Oh my
That's
God,
saying something, do you know what I mean? And then when you started talking, I'm like, oh, fucking hell, she's just like me. Just like me. Just come from heart on your sleeve, fucking just like passionate about helping people. I was like, I've not met many people. In fact, I've not met one person like you within your industry who's like that. They're all approaching it from this professional, corporate, need to wear a suit, kinda. I'm like, I can't even get on your level.
Right, yeah, I love to stand out. I'm completely unique, so I'm dressed in a bright pink blazer today, and that's as suity as you're going to get me, really. And that's just because I'm okay with thinking whatever people want to think about me. Like, I'm like, think what you want to think. That's like that's your process. That's your opinion. Yeah, I'm okay with me. I'm happy with me. So, and what I want to do is reflect that to other people, to be okay with themselves, to be happy and in love with themselves. That's so important.
Get on the dance floor, man. That's
absolutely, yeah.
So 5 years ago, you were just you in your front room thinking, I've got this thing, I'll give up all the corporate, all the bits, 5 years in, how many staff have you got? How big have you got?
So we're at 8 staff now, and we're nearly at 500,000 now as well, and we've got about 210 clients, I think, which is super, super cool. We love it, and we love them all. We love them all. We know them all. We know the kids' names. We know the dogs' names. We know pets, and it's just so beautiful. It's just such a beautiful place that we feel like we've created for people.
You've created like a lifestyle brand in a way, which is really mad. Saying for an accountant, it's like creating a lifestyle brand. You do feel part of it when you come in and stuff. It is
That's
mad.
so cool. And people come to us for some mad things, They'll come in for a meet, and most people think you go to see your accountant to sort your numbers out and sort your books out and everything like that. And 80% of the meeting is never numbers. It's always other stuff. They'll come to us, I want to move house, where shall I buy my furniture? Who shall I speak to? Where shall I live? I want to go on holiday. Where shall I go? Who shall I use? What shall I do? My kids clubs, I want to think about kids clubs, or I like this community centre, what do you think? It's just like I want a hot tub in my garden, what do you think? Where should it go? Have a look at my garden. Do you want to come round for tea? I want my pets' names. What do you think? What should it be? Really, like some really random stuff that come at us. And we love it. Absolutely love it. It's amazing. That's like the best part of what I do, is getting to know people fully. They feel super safe, like you said, coming and chatting to us about anything in their life, anything what's happening. People ring us if somebody's passed, unfortunately, as well. They've rang us. They ring me and say, I don't know what to do, don't know how to handle this, and we talk them through it. We give them advice, we put them in the right direction for people as well, that they can get support and help. There's just so many things that people come to us for, and it's just so beautiful. We feel so blessed and so honoured to be part of people's lives in that way, that they're not just coming in just for the numbers. They come in to us a lot of the time, we've got a new idea, we've got this new idea, this is what we want to do, we're thinking about it, what do you think? And we'll have like a complete full-on strategy day where we talk through their ideas, think about what could be better, what could be a competitor, what could be, you know, do like a bit of a SWOT analysis with them and things like that, have lunch with them, take them out, and it's great. It's just great. It's just a different side to it, so it's fun. I love it. It's fun. That's what I
just
love
give me
fun.
the Jenny V breakdown for people, right? What turnover, gross profit and net profit means for people.
Okay.
Give me the Jenny V definition of those things.
Turnover is...
You see it on Dragon's Den all the time, don't you? People
Yeah,
get a bit mixed up with it. So I want you to give me a Jenny V.
That's
for
fine.
people.
Turnover is sales. It's the amount of money your customers are happy to pay you for what services or products that you've give or sold them. So how much money can you get from people? That's your turnover. So that's it in a nutshell. Gross profit is your sales turnover minus the cost that it's cost you to get to your sales. So that could be, if you're a product business, that could be that you've bought 10 tables, that's your cost, you've sold 10 tables, that's your sales, and the gross profit is the difference. So that's a really straightforward way of explaining that. The net profit is you've bought 10 tables, let's say you bought them at 1,000, you've sold them for 2,500, so you've made £1,500 gross profit. But in order to do that, you had shipping costs, or you had an office to look after, and you've got a member of staff to pay. So let's say that you've paid 800 quid out that month to pay for those things, for instance. So you've got £1,000 that you bought the tables for, 2,500 that you sold them for. So you've got 1,500 gross profit, 800 quid that it's cost you. So you've got £700 net profit. The net profit is what you're taxed on, and then you pay your tax on that. So that's where that stands. So if you're looking at a profit and loss account, your sales is always at the top, broken down into tables, chairs, televisions, whatever it is that you sell, whether it be product or services. Then it's your cost, and what they say is it's cost of sales, what it's cost you in order to sell that product or service that's directly linked to that sale. And then you've got all your overheads, which is your office, your mobile, your fuel, because you're going to pay all that anyway, regardless of whether you sell them 10 tables or not. You're going to have to pay your office cost regardless. Yeah. So that's why it's classed as an overhead. And then you've got your net profit after all that. There you go. Is that a good definition?
Love it.
Love it.
Electric cars.
Okay.
Let's talk electric cars. You know, I've got a diesel truck outside. Okay, it's coming. Well, I don't know why you flinched then, but okay, right. So it's coming up. Think of maybe changing it. Yeah. Are you telling me to get rid of the truck and go for a hybrid or an electric car?
That's what the world's telling us to do. So for the tax purposes and accounting purposes and money in your pocket and the fact that I don't like paying the tax man, yeah. I am. That is correct. I want you to buy a hybrid, preferably, because I'm not overly fan of full electric, because I just don't think the UK is there for it yet, the amount of charge units and everything. You can get them installed at home, at an office and this, that and the other. And the full electric will only do like 300 to 350 miles for you. So if you're doing long journeys, you've got to put real consideration into thinking and planning before you start your journey about where your charge points are along your journey route. Yeah. But a hybrid, you can still put petrol in your hybrid car and charge it with electric. So you double win then, really. Yeah. And as long as you stay under 50 CO2 emissions... Yeah. The tax wins are there, and we don't like paying tax, man. We don't like paying tax.
Talk to me about the tax wins. What are the tax wins? What are the percentages?
Okay, so under 50 CO2 emissions, when you buy the car through the business, which is the best policy really to use, means that, again, don't want to go too complicated, but you still got to put the car as a benefit to you as a person. So each owner or director of a business has got to still file a personal tax return. And the benefit of having an electric or hybrid... So you're not
saying it's a commercial vehicle, you're saying it's a benefit?
It can be you bought it through the business, so it's still a business car. The business owns the car, but the likelihood is that you'll still use it for personal travel. So, and if you do... and it's very hard to prove that you don't, more so, really. If you do use it for personal travel, it has to go on your personal tax return as a benefit in kind. And get into that calculation, if it's under 50 CO2 emissions, the likelihood is the tax that is attached to that would be less than £1,000 a year, which is based on a 2% benefit in kind. Again, massive calculation behind it. But ultimately, overall, the summary is it's way less tax. If you're going for a diesel and if you put that through the business and it then ultimately end up on your personal tax as well, the benefit in kind percent that's attached to that could be anything between 30 and 40%. And you're paying 2% on an electric or hybrid. So the difference in tax itself is hybrid electric, £1,000 max, generally speaking. Please don't hold my life to that. And a diesel, you could pay anything up to 20 grand in tax to have it on your personal tax return as a business-owned car. So it's not worth it. It's just not worth it because you'll end up paying more in tax for a diesel car than what the car's even worth sometimes.
I know this.
Yeah. So it's bonkers. It is bonkers. So people should, in that instance, if they're dead set on getting a diesel, is take the money out through dividends, through a personal tax, which is after company tax. Then you pay company tax, then take dividends. It then goes over to your personal tax where you then get taxed on your dividends again, which is always nice because we don't like paying tax, man, so screw that. And then you would use your own personal money then to go and buy your diesel car, which would be a cheaper option than putting your diesel car through a business purchase and then paying the benefit in kind on it. Makes sense?
Yeah, it does, but I don't want it to make sense.
Sorry.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's shit. It is shit. Yeah, why should we be penalised so much? But obviously the government, whichever one is bloody in next week, is trying to make it so that we're much more eco-friendly in the UK, which I support as well and definitely support that. Yeah. However, they've just still not got the electric cars perfect yet. We still keep hearing stories of blowing up randomly and not having enough charge points and this, that and the other. And diesels are just polluting the world. So I think a happy hybrid for me at the moment kind of satisfies both sides in a balanced way, somewhat.
If somebody was starting off a business, right, and you could give them advice on the business side of it, what were the first things that you tell them to do? Apart from come and see you.
Apart from that, I would say do SWOT analysis, set up a mission, vision and culture statement of how you want this business to look like and what your mission is for the actual business itself. The vision of the business is what you want it to overall, the summary for it. Then I would say you set your systems and procedures up before you even start anything. So how you foresee the business to be in 3 years' time when you've got staff members running this business, you need to start that on day one. If you can do that,
can I just solidify that
this is
we're not talking about logo, we're not talking about a website or design or what it looks like. We're talking about getting the fundamentals right before you even start looking at those things.
Completely. Yeah. So systems like the most basic one, everyone needs a customer to have a business, right? So you need to go out, get a customer. How do you want to get those customers? Write a system for it. How do you envisage staff getting customers? Go write a system for it. If you want somebody that's on the road all the time, write a system for it. Write a procedure to say the do's and don'ts for it. If you want to do marketing, because you've got to get marketing nailed completely, you've got to figure out who your customers actually are and how you want to obtain these customers. Write a system of what methods you're gonna test. Then write a system of how you're gonna measure those methods. I think one of the biggest learnings we've had is to make sure that we understand where prospects are actually coming from, so that we can measure where to put a marketing budget into. So if you think you want to go networking, you want to build a website, you want to use social media platforms, you want Google ads, and you want to do a podcast, let's say, because that's a great one for Tim as well, that's 5 different methods that you should write, a procedure to follow, the do's and don'ts, and a system to say how you expect to achieve all these different 5 methods and how they're going to operate. So if a customer phones you from the website, what's your script on the phone? What is it that you want somebody else to say to your customer? Now, you might have said it 500 times in the outset of your business. These are the words that you use when you answer the phone call to that customer. Why not write them down? Just script it. Just say, this is the rough script even that I want you to follow when you're answering a phone call. I want you to pick up the phone and go, "Good morning, Aspire Accounts. How can we help you today?" It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Why would you not want that scripted? Why would you not want that as a system in place? Why would you not want that at your company? You've got to kind of forward wind a bit, start with the end in mind and think, how do you want this running in the next 2 or 3 years? You might be solo entrepreneur today, just starting out with this business idea, but in 3 years' time, do you want to still be doing the same stuff as what we spoke about before? Don't repeat the same year over and over. You want it to grow. If you want it to grow and you don't want to be repeating the same thing 100 times, write a system. It's literally that simple. I couldn't say it any more simple. Write a system. Write a procedure, do's and don'ts. Write an org chart. Where do you want this business to go in that respect as well? What different job roles is there going to be? Okay, so now we need to know what recruitment strategy we want to make. Write a system. Like, my answer for everything on that will be write a system. It couldn't be any easier. You can get template systems. You can ask people that you're aspiring to, what system do you follow? You can go and have meetings with these people and find out, have you got a template that I could use? Could you send me something? I've got a really good relationship with somebody.
Just to be clear for people, you're not talking about the system as in the software system.
No.
You're talking about piece of paper. And this is how we do it.
Yeah, you could be as literal as that. You could start with pen and paper. You could start with Excel. You could start with, there's some free software stuff out there like Asana and Monday.com or something. Yeah. Start with stuff but Word document, like, just get somewhere, like pen and paper just does the trick anyway. But write a system. I'd definitely say type it up at some point when you're happy with it, so that you've got something, again, that can be emailed out to your other members of staff, can be stored in a system, I like to say, say that you've got OneDrive, make sure all your folders are in sync, make sure that it's logical to follow. What you don't want is to go down a rabbit hole where you're creating bloody minefield for your own back, and you're 2 years in, you've got client, suppliers, prospects, marketing, advertising, website stuff, events, networking, all this stuff all mumble jumbled into one big OneDrive that nothing's got any order, structure. Yeah. So create the structure way early, day one.
Pathways, pipelines.
Yes.
And automated way.
Automation. Oh my God, use AI. Yeah. If you're not using AI, you really need to get onto AI and get on the boat, because the ship is about to sail. Yeah. You need to learn AI, because that is the world. That is the way it's going. And if we're scared of AI, that's because of a belief, by the way. That's because of a deep-rooted belief somewhere that, oh my God, change is coming and it's too much and I can't cope with it. That's only because there's a belief there that's stopping you, it's holding you back. So work on yourself more than your business. The belief will change. You jump onto AI, you'll create your systems and your procedures, and you'll have a flipping great business. Boom.
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 Where can people find you? How do they get hold of you? How can they work with Jenny V?
Jenny V in the house. Aspire Accounts, we are based in Atherton but serve the whole of the UK. Our website is aspireaccounts.com. Our phone number is 01942 466 024. We would be happy and lovely to speak to you. You can also book a call through the website as well. So we've made it super easy to access us. We've got Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, Google, everything. So we'd be happy to have a chat with you. Thank you so much for having us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I loved every minute of it, and Tim is fantastic. If you're not working with him, get your ass down to Tim Marner as well and book an appointment with Tim.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Tim Marner, what? You're branded with the best. Tim Marner, what? You're branded with the best.